To ensure efficient and easy wall construction, first the hand tools should be prepared. Electrical handsaw to cut blocks to required dimensions as necessary. Spirit level to ensure level wall construction. Sufficient quantity of block matics for even spreading of mortar. Rubber mallet for joining and aligning of blocks. Clean pan large enough to take a complete packet of mortar. Speed adjustable power drill and mixing stirrer. 5mm notched trowel for panel applications. Mason's trowel for mortar applications. Equipment to open channels and conduit boxes for plumbing, conduit boxes, electrical outlets and keys. The surface should be cleaned before application. The blocks should be lined up using a rope drawn in a straight horizontal line. The cleaned surface should be wetted with water. The first step is to put 3/4 amount of recommended water quantity that is written on the craft bag into the clean pan. All of the mortar in the bag is emptied into the pan in one go. The speed adjustable power drill is used with a mixing stirrer to mix the two together without creating lumps or bubbles. The remaining balance of water is added slowly according to the viscosity of the mortar. If the mortar dries out during application, it should be mixed using the drill before any further water is added. The prepared mortar should be used within 1 hour. Any unevenness and elevation differences on the ground should be leveled using Poncebloc's Fix 5 or 10 mortar before the first row is laid. At the same time, for the wall to be plumb lined, a rope should be drawn vertically using a laser or the classical system. Blocks should be laid with the closed side facing upwards. It is not necessary to spread mortar in between the blocks vertically. Mortar should be used on the surface of the blocks facing columns. These could be corner blocks or normal blocks. The blocks should be laid on the ground mortar and the wall construction should start following the grooves and the tongues. Small pieces of any other dimensions can be easily cut and laid. It is recommended to use an electrical saw for the uniform cutting of the block. It is important that the first row of blocks are level, and it is recommended that this is controlled using the spirit level. Any unevenness in the level can be amended using the rubber mallet. Before proceeding to lay the second layer of blocks, the mortar can be spread evenly and efficiently on the blocks using the blockmatic. After the mortar has been spread, if the first row was laid starting with a whole block, then the second row should be started with a half block. In this manner, the stability will be secured. The horizontal rope should be carried up each level of the wall construction. The use of the blockmatic means up to 75 economy in the consumption of mortar in comparison to classic wall construction methods. The consumption of mortar for a 19 cm thick wall of 3 meters height and 6 meters length is 5 kilograms. The light wall system is thus supported by the light weight of the mortar applied. Wall masons carry up to 4 tons less load per day when construction walls with Poncebloc. The uniform surfaces and minimal dimensional tolerances of Poncebloc masonry units allow for uniform wall construction. Thus, it is possible to decrease the thickness of the plaster down to 5 mm. If there are doors and windows in the wall, then Poncebloc lintels can be preferred during construction. Due to their lightness and exact measurements, Poncebloc lintels offer efficiency and perfection in the wall construction. After waiting 1 day for the wall mortar to dry out, the Poncebloc lintel can be laid in place. it should be ensured that the length of the lintel is minimum 15 cm longer on either side of the door or window space. Lintels can also be laid under windows as seen as necessary. Where the wall meets the ceiling or beams, Poncebloc can be cut to 2 cm, or if more space is left, then panels can be preferred at these points. The remaining empty spaces can be filled with Poncebloc Fix 5 or Fix 10 mortar. In the construction of external walls, Poncebloc panel of 5 cm width applied to the outer side of the wall secures the required heat transmission coefficient or U value in accordance with the calculation in TS 825 Building Heat Insulation Regulation. On columns, Poncebloc panels are adhered using special lightweight panel mortar Poncebloc panel fix. It is possible to also use this application for beams and ceilings. Poncebloc panel fix mortar should strictly be spread using a notched trowel. All surfaces should be cleaned of dirt, grease and dust. Desired plumbing channels can easily be opened in Poncebloc masonry units. The plumbing channels can be opened using Poncebloc channel opening equipment, angle grinders, or professional channel opening machines. Conduit box, sockets, and electrical switch holes can easily be opened using a channel opening machine or conduit box opening apparatus fixed onto a low power electrical drill. Electrical cables and water pipes are easily put into place inside the channels opened with desired measurements. Machinery gypsum or cement-based plaster, sand and cement plaster, gypsum plaster, or heat insulating Poncebloc thermal plaster can easily be applied in one go onto Poncebloc surfaces. Surfaces should be cleaned of dirt, dust and grease and should be wetted if necessary before the application of the plaster. All plasters can be applied onto Poncebloc masonry units without the need for any undercoat or primer plaster. The use of a plaster mesh of 180 grams per meter square weight at meeting points of columns and beams is recommended. As heat is not required during the production of Poncebloc masonry units, expansion or contraction are not issues that arise. Thus, if plaster is correctly applied to the surface of Poncebloc masonry units, no cracking will arise either. Due to the rough surface of Poncebloc, the adhesion of plaster is very high and the consumption of plaster is much lower in comparison with similar applications. The thickness of the plaster can be reduced down to 5 mm. When cement-based sand and cement plaster, machinery plaster or tile adhesive is used with a thickness of 1.5 to 2 cm on Poncebloc, loads can easily be carried using the correct application of wall anchors. The wall anchor type and method of applying the anchor to the wall is chosen according to the carryable weight. It is recommended to insert Poncebloc lintels in the wall construction at points where heavy apparatus or machines will be anchored to the wall.